Double shooting out in the Sylmar area happening here in this home that you see at the center of the screen. That's going to be at Rex near the cross of DeGarmo. Now, we do not know the condition of the victims in this case. We have been told, though, that it is a male and a female suffering from gunshot wounds inside this home. Large LAPD presence out here, and we're also hearing that the gunman in custody and the weapon in custody as well. You can see the officers have a crime scene set up. It's on a cul-de-sac, that whole cul-de-sac locked down. Number of officers here, ambulance and fire department just departing the scene. Right now, we don't know the condition of the victims, but we do know that that gunman in custody. They are holding the scene, waiting for detectives to arrive here. I'm Stu up in Skyfox over Sylmar, sending it back to you all in the studio.
All right, Stu, I'll take it. Thank you for that. In the meantime, I want to tell you about our wind situation here weather-wise. The winds are mostly calm still, definitely coming from that north-northwesterly direction, starting to pick up a little bit in Burbank, and the winds will eventually come out of the north and then northeast. So the Santa Ana winds are increasing, and that will pose some problems. I'll go over that in just a few moments. Right now, temperatures are chilly still at this hour. 42 in Palmdale. It's 45 in Pasadena. Just 43 in Corona right now. 30 degrees in Big Bear to that 51 in Palm Springs. High temperatures today ranging from just 66 in the low desert in Palm Springs, 49 in the high desert areas. The winds will be blowing the mountains and deserts as well. High wind warnings going into effect for a lot of our mountain locations, a lot of our passes. So be extra careful if you've got those high profile vehicles. The winds are really going to strengthen later this afternoon and evening into tomorrow. 61 for downtown LA. That's well below the average of 68. I'll go over the high wind alerts coming up in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you too.
Maria, thank you. So Minneapolis is on edge this morning after the fatal shooting of a 37-year-old woman by an ICE officer.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is calling for people to remain calm as he cancels school activities and classes. Other state and local officials are demanding ICE leave Minnesota after the shooting death of 37-year-old Renee Good. But Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says ICE agents are not going anywhere. Some 2,000 Homeland Security officers are being deployed to the area in what the agency says is the largest immigration enforcement operation ever.
And later on this morning, local activists will gather in downtown Los Angeles to protest the deadly ICE shooting.
Mario is standing by with a reaction and the latest on this. Mario.
That's right. This is really sparking local calls for accountability. Now, we're just outside the federal building here on Los Angeles Street downtown. I just spoke with one of the organizers who says he's not sure how many people will show up to start, but he expects this protest, this demonstration to build throughout the day, all connected to that video that's been seen by millions of people. We do want to warn you, it can be difficult to watch, but take a look. It does show the shooting in broad daylight Wednesday morning around 9:30. The woman, 37-year-old Renee Good, was shot 3 times while inside her vehicle. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. Witnesses say 3 ICE agents surrounded Good's SUV there as she sat inside, and as she started to accelerate, one opened fire. Federal officials claim the woman weaponized her vehicle, saying the agent feared for his life and fired defensive shots there. Now, that video sparking outrage across the nation, and here locally in Oxnard, demonstrators took to the streets near City Hall, calling the shooting an unjust killing and demanding accountability from ICE, and that anger also being echoed by local leaders, with LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn calling these ICE agents undertrained and trigger-happy.
Everyone who has seen this video knows that this ICE agent murdered that woman, and it is shameful that Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem is saying that they did this in self-defense, and she's praising them, which only gives more ICE agents the license to do the very same thing, to shoot and kill people on our streets.
Activists say this is a part of a larger pattern of dangerous federal enforcement operations in local communities, and this shooting out of Minneapolis also comes a week after an off-duty ICE officer fatally shot a man in Northridge. DHS officials say was armed with a rifle. His family now calling for a thorough investigation. Now back out here live. Again, more protests are planned to continue today and through the weekend. Next time we check in, we'll show you that demonstration set to get underway here in the next hour at the federal building downtown. For now, live, I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you. 1 year ago, the Palisades and Eaton fires were raging out of control.
The damage and fallout has motivated a former reality star to run for political office, and you saw him announce that right here on Good Day LA. Rachel Aragon live in Pacific Palisades with more on that. Good morning.
Bob, Jen, good morning. A very big announcement yesterday. We also know there's a lot of reaction in general to the one-year mark to last January's wildfires. Take a look here. This is video of so many different events that we know that was held to mark that 1 year, including one event that was here in the Palisades. That event, of course, called They Let Us Burn Rally, where we saw demonstrators and survivors demand accountability. Well, Spencer Pratt, former reality TV star and Pacific Palisades resident, announcing at that rally his run for LA mayor. Here's a tweet he posted making it official, showing and saying the paperwork has been filed. Well, Pratt and his wife Heidi Montag lost their home in the Palisades fires. Since the Palisades fire, though, they both have been vocal critics of the city and state's response to the wildfire. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco among those yesterday who have publicly endorsed Pratt for mayor of Los Angeles. Bianco is currently running, by the way, for governor of California. Well, current governor Gavin Newsom announcing $107 million for affordable rental homes to aid LA area fire survivors. That state money will fund the creation of 673 affordable rental homes that will be offered first to those affected or displaced by last January's wildfires. Back here live in Pacific Palisades, of course, we see a lot of destruction and whatnot, and we heard so many stories yesterday marking that 1 year. But if we learned anything yesterday, of course, it's take many more years to really rebuild not just this community here in Palisades, but also Altadena and Pasadena. Reporting live this morning, I'm Rachel Aragon. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom, later on this morning, he's going to outline his goals and objectives for California over the next year.
Many people expect his State of the State address will also try to position Newsom for a possible White House run. Gigi Graciette joining us now here in the studio with more on that. Gigi.
Bob and Jen, in his last State of the State address before his second and final term ends, Governor Newsom is expected to outline his vision and budget priorities. And for the first time in 6 years, this speech will be delivered in person at the state capitol. Now, it's predicted that Newsom will start his last year in office with a budget deficit of an estimated $18 billion, although there is wide-ranging speculation on exactly how much the state might be in the red. State financial officials will actually release the numbers tomorrow, along with a spending plan. Newsom, who has been a vocal critic of President Trump, often challenging him directly on social media, is expected to focus on programs that would counteract anything the president is doing, and that could include health care and immigration. Newsom describing Trump's deployment of ICE agents in major cities as reckless, calling it a deliberate escalation of intimidation. And a mention of what happened in Minneapolis yesterday that ended in the shooting death of Renee Good by an ICE agent is expected. Redistricting, also a hot-button topic for the governor, with the passage of Proposition 50 considered a major win for him. And as we mark the one-year anniversary of the Palisades and Eaton fires, the governor sent a letter to the president yesterday asking for more federal funding to aid in the ongoing recovery. Now, housing, homelessness, and the environment also expected to figure in the governor's last State of the State address. It is scheduled to start at 10:30 a.m. And of course, we're going to bring that to you live right here on Good Day LA. The big question, Jen and Bob, is will the governor make any mention of his political aspirations, as in possibly running for president, or will he stay focused on the job he currently has?
Certainly will be a highly watched address.
Right.
There.
Right. All right.
Okay, we'll have to see. Thank you, Gigi.
Up next, it might be the most popular New Year's resolution, weight loss.
Yeah, but how many will actually stick with it? A new national survey reveals the answer.
A new survey shows a majority of Americans want to lose weight, but most aren't doing anything about it. 52% told Gallup they want to drop some lbs. 26% say they're making a real effort to do so. Pollsters say that the difference has been consistent since the early 1950s. Since 1990, the average self-reported weight for men and women rose by 20 pounds. As Americans have gotten heavier, their target weights have also crept up 16 pounds over the same period.
We're all exhausted.
I know.
Right? Everyone's just tired.
I got too much stuff going on. I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Use my app.
We've decided that
Use my app.
in February is you're really going to tackle it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll start
And then in February it's going to say
logging all
March.
my steps.
It's a good goal. It's a good goal, Bobby. I'm with you.
I think you're all doing just fine.
Thank you. I did gain the 4 pounds.
I use my jacket as a measurement when I can't.
When I
can't button the jacket.
I hear you.
I know there's a problem.
I hear you.
We got some problems here.
When the buttons be popping.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, get back to that, was it the gym? You're on that.
One of his gyms.
One of his gyms. Okay, well, listen, today, good day to walk if you want to. We've got sunshine. Temperatures are actually on the cooler side, so no problem about overheating today. We do have some cooled afternoon temperatures because of this colder air mass that we're tapping into, but the winds are going to return. In fact, quite strong gusty Santa Ana winds are coming back again today, tonight, into tomorrow, with wind gusts expected to near 65, even 70 miles an hour in some of those wind-prone areas below the canyons and passes. You know, Porter Ranch, that area is going to get pretty gusty again. Less wind by the time we get to the latter part of the weekend. So Sunday into next week, we'll still get that offshore flow, but it will really help to warm us up. So big warm-up expected as we get into next week. But some of the impacts we're expecting with these strong gusty winds, of course, include hazardous driving conditions. You get blown around quite a bit, especially if you got those high-profile vehicles. You want to be careful of some debris on the roadways, some tree limbs. And because these wind gusts are going to be quite strong, it could bring down some trees, especially with the recent rain. Some of them really kind of vulnerable with the saturated soils. Power lines could come down as well, and some power outages will go with that. So just be prepared for some of that over the next couple of days. We do have some moisture showing up here right now on the radar. Most of it up here near the Grapevine. Some snow flurries up in the Tehachapis. We could get some snow flurries here in the San Bernardino Mountains. We'll wait and see. We're kind of on the backside of this trough of low pressure right now. So not a whole lot of moisture, but it's still bringing in some cold air. High pressure behind it's going to build. That's what's going to help really kick up those winds for us. First coming out of the north, and then eventually we'll shift out of the northeast, and that's when we get the offshore flow, and then eventually a warm-up as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. In the meantime, today, still cooler than average, 61 for downtown LA, 62 in San Diego. Here's a look at your day planner in Riverside, where it's going to stay on the cooler side. You'll need that sweatshirt. High temperature, really not going to be too high. Maybe 60, 61 later this afternoon. That's about it. And as we take a look at Thousand Oaks, lots of sunshine, but looking at those temperatures this afternoon, still in the upper 50s. So yeah, it's on the definitely chilly side. 29 degrees in Big Bear, still in the 20s at the 10 a.m. hour, and then getting into the low 30s by around 3 p.m. Anaheim, sunshine, yes, but still only in the low 60s. I'll show you that 7-day forecast in just a couple minutes. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Up next, a live report from Minnesota following the deadly shooting by an ICE agent.
Tension certainly running very high in Minneapolis, and a lot of demonstrations are planned for across the nation, as well as right here in Los Angeles. We'll have more on that. Stay with us. Developing this morning, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is preparing the National Guard for deployments. They're on standby right now after an ICE officer shot and killed a woman in South Minneapolis yesterday.
City officials have now identified that woman as 37-year-old Renee Good. We've got Asher Red live for us in Minneapolis with the latest on the situation there. Asher.
Well, Jen and Bob, we've already seen some pretty active protests throughout Minneapolis today, one of them happening at a federal building just a few blocks from where I'm standing right now. It appears that federal agents have already used pepper spray on a few agitators and made arrests. This is an ongoing and active situation, so we'll keep you updated. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says the ICE agent acted in self-defense, but the governor and the city's mayor aren't buying it. Immigration agents were conducting targeted operations in South Minneapolis yesterday afternoon when 37-year-old Renee Good appeared to block them in with her car. When agents told Good to get out of the car, DHS Secretary Newsom said she tried to run them over. That's when one of the ICE agents shot and killed Good through the windshield. Secretary Newsom is calling Good a domestic terrorist and accusing her of using her car as a weapon.
You know, people need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism.
But some city officials are calling this murder, saying the ICE agent should be arrested and charged. Within hours of the shooting, hundreds of anti-ICE protesters showed up at the scene, many of them throwing snow and chunks of ice at law enforcement. Mayor Jacob Frey is calling the Trump administration's narrative BS, and he didn't use the acronym.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull to ICE. Get out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
This is just devastating for the community. We can't have people getting murdered in our streets. It's just not right.
This shooting happened just days after DHS deployed an additional 2,000 officers to the Minneapolis area. Both state and local law enforcement are telling people to protest peacefully. The National Guard is on standby as a precaution in case things turn violent. Back to you.
Meanwhile, Asher, there's some question as to what the victim, that 37-year-old woman, was doing there in the first place. I know that Newsom had said that she had been following ICE agents and impeding their progress there. What do we know?
Well, Secretary Newsom is saying that she was following ICE agents along with a group of a few dozen people. She says that ICE agents got their vehicle stuck in snow, and while they were trying to pull it out of the snow, that's when Newsom says that Good pulled her car in front of the agents, blocking them in, and that happened right before the shooting. And now here we are talking about it now.
It seems like this protest, as we're looking at some of those live pictures there, is almost going to be an all-day affair. It was larger this morning. We saw pepper balls that were utilized this morning, and then the crowd kind of died down a little bit, but they're still certainly there. Do we expect this to last throughout the day today? And also, we're hearing, Asher, that the governor is also expected to speak again later this morning to give us the latest developments.
Yeah, this is expected to be all day. I mean, they're out here. They got out here maybe at about 7:30, and it's pretty cold here in Minneapolis. So if they're able to brave the cold, they're probably in it for the long haul. Now, the governor will be speaking later today, and of course, this is an ever-changing story. So we could see him maybe offering a few extra details that we didn't have yesterday.
All right, we'll be watching the situation there very closely. Thank you for your reporting there, and we'll check in with you there on the ground in Minneapolis. Thanks, Asher. Another delay in the Reiner murder case. Nick Reiner is accused of killing his parents, film director Rob Reiner and wife Michelle. Reiner did not enter a plea after his lawyer asked to be replaced by a public defender. His former attorney, Alan Jackson, says circumstances beyond his control forced him to drop the case. Right after resigning from the case, Jackson had this to say.
Pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder.
We are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt.
Reiner's arraignment will now be on February the 23rd. He could face life without parole or the death penalty if he's convicted. Prosecutors have not decided if they will seek the death sentence. A long list of all-star musicians performed at a concert to benefit Altadena fire victims 1 year later.
It's a sold-out concert at the Pasadena Civics Auditorium last night, including the LA band Dawes, 2 of which members of the folk rock group are themselves Eaton fire survivors. The concert also included Oza Motley and a dozen other performers, all chipping in to help raise $500,000 for the Altadena Builds Back Foundation.
It's in my backyard. You know, my daughter goes to school right down the street.
The meaning to me is the fact that they're donating their time and their talent and their name to something like this. And that's not a small thing, given that a lot of these people don't live here.
The Altadena Builds Back Foundation supports long-term housing recovery, food assistance, interim housing, mental health support, and more relief for families. All right, 8:26. We're coming up on the 8:30 hour. We'll be right back.
Another name.
Goes the classes.
Yes.
Bobby.
Of course she should. I like to teach you these things about
We're talking about Pilates.
From the Reformer to the Cadillac.
Right.
Call it the Cadillac.
You know, you need a good back bend every once in a while. You really do, because we're all like hunched over on our computers and technology and stuff. So a good back bend never hurt anybody.
Get upside down.
Those shots of you upside down, I don't think I can.
You got to look at her Instagram at some point.
Yeah, my Instagram.
Yeah. She'll show you how it's done.
Okay.
You like Pilates?
Well, I'm upside down every morning. You guys know my routine when I wake up.
If someone just tuned in,
that's right.
Yeah.
If someone just tuned in, this could be taken completely out of context.
But this is how I wake up, 2:45 in the morning. You know, it's tough. It hurts. So I kind of hang upside down over my bed.
And it helps the
blood goes right into my brain.
What are those tables where you can like lay down the table, an inversion table? Oh, yeah. That's what I want.
Some people have
I don't
those.
have that. Yeah. I just don't have room for that. But yes, I wouldn't mind.
What does that do?
We just said blood rushes to your head.
Bob, you know what? You need to hang upside down.
Do it right now.
We need blood to his ears.
While I walk over to the green screen, I suggest you just hang upside down.
Yep.
Well, just bend over.
I'll hold your feet, Bob.
Bend down.
Hold your ankles.
Actually, you know, we did this experiment, and Bob can't bend down all the way. You know. All right, you carry on. I'm walking over to the green screen. I got to explain what is going on weather-wise. We've got a trough of lower pressure here, and we're on the backside of the system right now, so we're getting that counterclockwise flow of air, getting that colder air mass moving in from the Rockies, and a little tiny bit of moisture, maybe some snow flurries up at around 4,000 or 5,000 foot level. High pressure behind it's going to build, and by the way, the difference in pressure between these two systems will actually start the winds, really kick off some strong gusty winds out of the north at first, then eventually out of the northeast. This is going to give us some stronger Santa Ana winds. Down trees are possible, power lines, some power outages. So just be extra careful, especially driving with the crosswinds and if you've got one of those high-profile vehicles. By Sunday, the high-pressure system will still be there, but the pressure gradients will weaken. We'll get those winds. Basically, bottom line, the winds will start to weaken on Sunday into next week. We'll still get the offshore flow, but it will help to warm up the air mass, and we'll get some warmer temperatures. But in the meantime, we've got some moisture expected up near Fraser Park, up towards the San Bernardino Mountains, certainly possible. Maybe some snow, just a little tiny bit at our resorts. That would be nice, right? But this is why we're not too worried about the fire danger, because we had so much rain so far this season, which began October 1st, 14.11 inches of rain. That's almost the total for the entire season, which is 14.25. And as far as like when the next storm's coming, looking at the long-range models, maybe the 17th, 18th, long ways. So we're going to get a chance to really dry out and get plenty of sunshine. Today, 60 degrees in Woodland Hills, so chilly. 58 in Burbank. That's it. So grab that sweatshirt or that light jacket if you're going to be out and about. Let's check in on traffic now. We've got Samada back in studio with a look at our freeways. Samada, do you hang upside down in the morning? Well, what do you do?
No,
Wake up? No?
I just
try
to get out of bed as quickly as I can. But that snooze button, that's my best friend. But hey, good idea, MQ. I've got to try that sometime. Hey, we've got a look at your real-time traffic, and we've got this issue here. We're going to take you out to the Westmont area, southbound side of the 110, right there at the 105. Two vehicles collided, taking away the fast lane. We're getting a quick update. It's now off to the right shoulder, but there's just enough activity to delay you a little bit. So just a heads up on your ride. And your real-time traffic through the downtown area, leaving downtown to get to Santa Monica on the westbound side of the 10 through Mid-City. Go ahead and allow yourself 54 minutes. Your drive not too bad. Westbound 60 from 57 inbound, just about 38 minutes. Here's a live Caltrans camera, both directions of the 405. A little slow, not too bad at Western Avenue as you're making your way through the Gardena area. Jen, Bob.
All right, thank you, Samada. So developing this morning, U.S. forces have seized 2 sanctioned oil tankers linked to Venezuela.
New video captured the entire thing. Take a look. Here's where it is. You can see U.S. Navy SEALs taking control of one tanker. The Coast Guard said it chased one ship for more than 2 weeks from the Caribbean to the Northern Atlantic. That tanker was Russian flagged, and a Russian fleet was reportedly nearby when U.S. forces took control. The other ship was boarded in the Caribbean. The tanker seized by the U.S., part of the ongoing crackdown on Venezuela and its oil exports.
Understand, they are not generating any revenue from their oil right now. They can't move it unless we allow it to move, because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions.
The United States government has already begun marketing Venezuelan crude oil in the global marketplace, and those funds will be dispersed for the benefit of the American people and the Venezuelan people at the discretion of the United States government.
The Trump administration briefed lawmakers yesterday on the Maduro raid, as well as plans for the country moving forward. And now Democrats are calling for public hearings so that Americans can hear those plans as well. As for the future of Venezuela's government, President Trump has said it's too early to talk about elections.
Meantime, the president is calling on Congress to increase defense spending next year to $1.5 trillion. That's nearly double the current defense budget. He says the increase is necessary because we are in, quote, troubled and dangerous times. In a post to social media, Trump said the investment would allow America to build a dream military that would, quote, keep us safe and secure.
Another pivotal vote happening on Capitol Hill this morning as Americans face a rise in health insurance premiums. The House is expected to take a final vote on reinstating expired Affordable Care Act subsidies after advancing a proposed bill yesterday morning. 9 Republicans voted alongside over 200 Democratic lawmakers to force today's vote. Political analysts say the bill, which includes a 3-year extension on those health care subsidies, is expected to pass the House, but it could die when it reaches the Senate.
The Trump administration has reinstated wage garnishment for federal student loan borrowers who are in default. That means the federal government can take up to 15% of your after-tax wages if you're in default on your student loans. The Department of Education says the first wave of notices will hit mailboxes this week. Nearly 1,000 borrowers in default right now will be the first to receive the warning. More notices will go out as the Trump administration officially ends the pandemic-era pause on collections. There are some protections, but the government can also go after your tax refunds and certain federal benefits to pay off the debt.
New this morning, a big spacewalk to show you, planned for this morning. It's actually been canceled. NASA says there was a medical concern with one of the astronauts, and now Fox News reporting that NASA is considering to bring the crew back to Earth early. They were set to return in May. NASA isn't releasing details due to medical privacy, but says the situation is stable.
Another plot twist in the battle to buy a major Hollywood studio. The board of Warner Brothers Discovery has formally rejected the latest takeover bid from Paramount, arguing it is not in the best interest of the company. Instead, they're urging shareholders to stick with an offer from Netflix, which announced a few weeks ago it was buying Warner Brothers for $72 billion. Paramount Skydance had launched a $78 billion hostile takeover bid by going directly to shareholders. Well, now the board is telling shareholders the proposal from Paramount is inferior and too risky. Leaders say the deal would load the company with billions in debt and costly termination fees as well.
The LA Art Show is known for some big names, and this year it is no different.
Yeah, Coco McAvoy is live in downtown LA with a look at actor Sylvester Stallone's artwork, now featured at the show. Good morning.
Good morning. The LA Art Show officially kicks off today, but I have an exhibit that you have got to check out. We all know Sylvester Stallone as an amazing actor and director, but did you know that he's been painting since he was a child as well? Look at this beautiful piece here. I am here with Carl now. He is one of the directors for Provident Fine Art, representing the solo presentation. There's a huge story behind this piece right here.
There is indeed. This is called Hercules, a Clock. And when Sly was 12, he was living with his dad in Maryland, and he had no real role model because his father was abusive emotionally and physically, and he sought a change of life. So he went to see Hercules, the movie, with Steve Reeves, and it changed his life. He sat there for two and a half times until he had to leave because of curfew, and then he went to the junkyard and he picked up materials to make dumbbells because he wanted to emulate Hercules. He now became Hercules in his own mind. He was going to be a bodybuilder, and he was going to develop strength, and he was going to be the master of his own domain. So this was a pivotal piece in his life because it changed his life. It's such an important aspect of where he was and where he became afterward, where he went and how he developed into Rocky, and then Cobra and all the rest of the great, incredible heroes that he played. And it began the rest of his life successfully and overcame all these odds, all these tumult and all of the trauma and everything else.
Right. That's incredible. It really is like his origin story. As we keep walking through to see more of his artwork, there's really a story and a lot of raw emotion that you can see.
There is. There's a story behind each one of these, and when you look at his paintings, they actually are images of his soul. These are thoughts that come and directly from his unconscious and his conscious. He puts, as a painter, all of his life's trauma, his experiences, his successes, and everything else onto canvas. And they're really very vividly portrayed. And you can read some of the messages as some of these, and others you can interpret, but he has his own interpretation as well. And they're powerful. I mean, the more I look at these, and I've met him several times, so it's extraordinary. He's an amazing painter.
Yes, absolutely extraordinary. Carl, thank you so much for telling us about this. I know your son is really the lead on this, but we really appreciate your input as well. And best of luck to your son, too.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Yes.
Honored to be here.
Yes, thank you so much, Carl. And this truly is a beautiful exhibit. The show opens today at noon. It'll run until 8, but it doesn't end until Sunday at 6 p.m. So make sure to come and get here. LAArtShow.com is how you get your tickets. I'll send it back to you.
Honestly, those pieces are beautiful. I'm blown away.
Aren't they amazing? I was blown away
talented.
too. And talking to Carl and learning more about his story, it's just truly fascinating to really get a deeper understanding of who he is. Yeah.
So that's what's great about that show is the artists, most, they're there, and you can, they tell you the story behind all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Thank you, Coco.
Wow.
Yeah, those are good.
Hello.
Hello.
And good morning to you.
Good morning. You know, I was driving the other day and I saw Capitol Records still had the Christmas tree up.
Oh, yeah.
I purchased a professional photo of it because I love it so much, and I put it up every Christmas, too. So there's some of my art.
See?
My home. Local. And speaking of local, let's get into some entertainment. Entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. So Ashton Kutcher is going to be back on our screens for his new FX series, The Beauty.
Is this real life? One simple injection to become a beauty.
Are there side effects?
This is the closest to the fountain of youth anyone's ever going to get, which of course comes with problems.
Good cast.
So, the series follows the creation of what's called the beauty shot, an actual shot and injection to make you more beautiful. But come on, Bob and Jen, things are never as simple as they seem, of course, especially when it's a Ryan Murphy series that also stars Evan Peters, Anthony Ramos, Bella Hadid, Jeremy Pope, and Rebecca Hall. It premieres on January 21st on FX. Have you been seeing all the billboards? Yeah. I've been seeing them around town.
Okay.
Looks eerie.
So you get like a beauty shot or a youth shot, but it's like a deal with the devil or something like that?
Did you see the Substance?
It's kind of like that, right?
Kind of is giving me the Substance vibes. So it's an innocent question most of us have either asked or been asked ourselves. Who was your childhood crush? Lots of us love celebrities from Tiger Beat, Teen Beat, 17 Magazine, and people are still getting asked this question, including a crush of many. Frankenstein star Jacob Elordi. So in a recent interview with W Magazine, Elordi rattled off a roll call of childhood crushes, including I Dream of Jeannie star Barbara Eden.
How wholesome.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh, wow.
Hilary Duff as Lizzie McGuire, and Miley Cyrus as Hannah Montana.
I mean, these are still people who are, like, very relevant to this day.
In fact, Hilary Duff's husband, Matthew Coma, shared this interview, basically giving a shout-out to his wife. Yeah, what a flex. Of course, many would consider Jacob himself to be a cinematic heartthrob, from HBO's Euphoria to On the Red Carpet this award season, and winning a Critics' Choice Award this past Sunday for his portrayal as the creature in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which is now streaming on Netflix. Chelsea Handler shouted out his height. Remember, she goes, you're gonna be like 6'7", 6'6", and he's like 6'5".
Wow.
Yeah.
Very tall.
Flex.
Yeah, that
when you're using both hands to tell your height. Childhood crush?
Nick Carter.
Yeah. That's a wholesome one.
An easy one for me. How about you? Bobby D?
I don't know if I had one. I don't know if I watched like Tiger.
Come on. There's not one person who you were like swooning over when you were in your preteens.
I'll have to think about it. I don't know. Who was yours?
Well, last hour we asked you. I'm not sharing. You know what? I'm done with this.
That's
I'm not
right.
sharing anymore if you're
That's
not going
right.
to share. This is a potluck, and you're not bringing
You
anything.
asked, so you have to have an answer.
I've said mine many a times. I liked Kevin from the Backstreet Boys and Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live.
Chris Kattan.
Mango.
Reeve, by the way.
In his mango era.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check in on our poll question. Have you ever acted before? Let's see. Oh, 57% have been in a school play, but tied up on the no too shy and only to get my way. I see you secret actors out there. I see you secret actors out there.
That's right.
You know who my husband's childhood crush was?
Oh, I know this.
Yeah.
Very wholesome as well.
Kathy Ireland.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So the Dodgers kick off the 2026 MLB season on March 26th against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So right now it is all off-season training.
Someone who knows a lot about the endurance and effort is none other than Shohei Ohtani's dog. It's not Furry Friday yet, Amanda, but we had to share this with you. This clip was posted by the MLB today showing how Decoy is gearing up for the 2026 season.
So cute.
The 2-year-old dog is great at catching and retrieving balls. He is the best boy at Dodger Stadium. Decoy has become so popular that he even has his own bobblehead and even an honorary U.S. visa.
Is he on Instagram? Is it Decoy, the best boy?
I'm sure. It took me a second to realize they had sped up that video.
Right.
Wow.
Wait, did they? Okay.
They did the first part, yeah.
All right, all right.
Okay, coming up, you can look, but you can't touch. A new report reveals the growing wealth gap of new car buyers in 2025. We'll show you, but first, let's get a check on traffic. Good morning, Samada.
Good morning, Jen. Good morning, everyone. Good Daily Traffic, sponsored by Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.com. We have your real-time traffic covered. It's going to take you just a little under an hour to get from downtown to the west side, so make sure you plan accordingly for that. Northbound 110 from the 405 inbound, a little over half an hour, and a beautiful, quiet drive. This is a look at the 215 right now. Looking pretty good, but if you are continuing on to areas like Paris or March Air Force Base, you'll be met with some fog. Wind conditions are going to be a problem through and below some of our Canyon passes. Watch your drive through the 5 corridor along the Grapevine. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran.
Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process.
If you're getting to an accident,
you're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron.
Call Jacob.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. Good Day LA weather is sponsored by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. We do have some mostly dry conditions outside. The sun is out. The wind is going to pick up again today. In fact, it's going to be quite gusty, especially in those usual wind-prone areas. We've got a difference in pressure between this trough of lower pressure inland now and higher pressure offshore. That's going to start to build in, and that will take over. The good news is we are entering a period of drier weather for at least the next couple of weeks, I think. So we'll get a chance to really dry out from all the rain we've had. We do have some chilly temperatures, so we have a winter weather advisory for portions up in the high desert areas, freeze watches as well for some of our valley locations here. Ojai Valley, really chilly morning temperatures, and then high wind warnings in effect for the mountains, some of those canyon locations, and then wind advisories through even near the coast. 3 to 6 foot sets. Speaking of the coast, Ventura County, LA beaches, some bigger waves rolling in, so please be extra careful if you're planning to get in the water. We have some very strong rip currents there. 63 should be the high temperature near the coast. Look at the warm up. The winds will start to back down this weekend. Sunday into next week, be prepared for some above average high temperatures. But in the meantime, today it'll be chilly. 61 in downtown LA. We'll get back to those low 70s by Sunday, Monday. Look at Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 70s, and then toward our valley locations, 60 today, and then back up to 77 and then 79 by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. The mountains, some snow flurries early this morning. Of course, those gusty winds getting up to near 60 by next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you. After missing the federal government's deadline to revoke thousands of immigrant commercial driver's licenses, California is set to lose $160 million in funding. This is on top of the $40 million Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy already withheld after claiming California is not enforcing English proficiency requirements for truckers. The state sent an alert to 17,000 drivers in the fall that they'd be losing their license. But last week, California said it would delay that action until March because of lawsuits claiming some groups were being unfairly targeted. Secretary Duffy, however, says California needed to revoke those licenses this past Monday and it failed to meet that deadline, rather.
All right, if you own an Audi, listen up. The car maker is recalling 350,000 of its vehicles. They say the rearview camera may suddenly fail, leading to an increased crash risk. The affected models range from 2019 to 2026 model years and span several models, including the A6, A8, Q7, S7, and e-tron. This comes a few weeks after Porsche recalled more than 170,000 vehicles for a similar issue. Both companies are owned by Volkswagen. You can contact the dealership to schedule a free repair.
San Francisco's Waymo is out with a new robo-taxi. Maybe you've seen this on the streets. It won't be like the Jaguar I-Pace cars seen around the city. Nope, it's going to be something a little boxier. Waymo's new fleet is an electric van by Chinese automaker Zeekr and has been named after the Southern California city of Ojai. The e-van comes with small wipers to clear away dirt and heaters meant to reduce ice buildup, both crucial for Waymo to expand beyond cities with comfortable climates. The vehicle was unveiled at the Las Vegas Tech Show CES 2026 and will begin offering rides later on this year. No word yet on which cities will be rolling it out. You know, when Waymo first was a thing here in at least this neighborhood on the west side, I would see the Waymos all the time with the drivers behind the wheel.
Right.
I've seen plenty of these too with the drivers behind the wheel, so it's only a matter of time before they go fully driverless.
I like it.
I like it too.
I always get.
I like the experience, start to finish.
Uber XL because I like the extra room.
Yeah.
So a little extra room there. Those Jaguars are kind of tight. When was the last time you bought yourself a shiny new car? 2025 was a good year for new car sales, not because vehicles became affordable, though. Data shows new car sales last year were driven by higher income consumers. Cox Automotive says households earning more than $150,000 a year now buy 43% of the new cars sold in the U.S. That is up from 30% in 2019. Households earning less than $75,000 make up just 1/4 of sales.
You know what money can't buy? That's happiness, my friends. And sweet treats make a lot of us happy. But would you book a trip to the Big Apple for this? A New York City bakery going viral for its colossal, I'm going to say cannolo, because that is the singular version of cannoli, just so you know. Check this thing out. It's a giant pastry shell stuffed with dozens of smaller cannolis. or should we say cannoli? Then the baking staff at Circo's pastry shop put even more cream in it. Woo! It weighs a whopping 5 pounds and can be compared to the size of a teacup poodle. Would you be able to finish it? Do it for the gram, as we say? Look at that powdered sugar, too.
How do you eat all that?
I don't know.
Does it actually look good?
You
need like a spoon to eat all that
I won't
cream.
kick a cannoli out of bed, that's for sure.
No. Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm not a big cannoli person.
Really?
Not big on
You're not
marshmallows, not big on cannoli.
You're not Italian.
Yeah.
It's in our DNA.
All right.
Let's go over to Sandra and Araxia. Good morning. Do you guys like cannoli?
Yeah, I do if it's done well.
Cannoli?
I'm not a big fan. I guess I haven't had a good one.
Oh,
I get a good one.
Yeah.
I know. I have to agree with Bob, which is unfortunate. All right. Calling your child's name and getting no response. We've all been there. Listen, you're not being ignored. Coming up, why one parenting experts say it's actually biology, and the simple fix can make your mornings much easier.
Plus, a new report on employment numbers in the United States, an update on the health of the job market.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday morning. It is 9 a.m. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
Protests erupt after an ICE agent shoots and kills a woman in Minneapolis. Why officials are claiming it was self-defense, while witnesses say it was murder.
Plus, 1 year after the deadly wildfires, Pacific Palisades resident and reality TV star Spencer Pratt announces his run for mayor of Los Angeles. How the public is reacting to the news.
And just in time for award season, there's a local and free exhibit that's a hauntingly good time. I'm going to bring you the details on this Netflix-sponsored exhibit. But first, look at that. Isn't it nice? Little date night, maybe. How is the weather looking for some date nights this weekend, Maria?
Whatever you have planned, Amanda, with your handsome hubby, you're good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, what outside, inside, temperatures are actually going to start to warm up. You just got to watch the wind. The wind is what I'm watching right now as it's starting to increase a bit. We had some really calm winds earlier this morning, and now currently near 10 miles an hour at LAX, 15-mile-per-hour winds in Burbank. This is coming out of the northwest, and that is going to be the pattern. It'll eventually shift back to the north and then eventually northeast later today into tomorrow. We do have wind alerts in effect. I'll go over that in just a few moments. In the meantime, it is chilly, 36 degrees in Fraser Park. It's still in the 40s in Pasadena, 48 degrees, 49 in Corona, 28 in Big Bear, still below freezing, 58 in Palm Springs. In the low deserts, staying chilly today with a high of only 66 degrees, but plenty of sunshine. The winds will be gusty times. The mountains, the high desert areas, the mountains warming up to around 34, barely above freezing, 60 in the valleys in the Inland Empire to that 61 downtown LA. So it'll be windy, it'll be cool, but it will be sunny. I'll talk more about those wind alerts when I come back. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you.
Maria, thank you. Protests from coast to coast continue this morning over the fatal shooting of a Minneapolis woman by an ICE agent.
While the Trump administration says it was justified, others are calling it murder. Videos quickly spread of an ICE officer shooting and killing 37-year-old Renee Good, a mother of 3 who tried to speed away after being told to stop. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says it was an act of domestic terrorism, claiming the woman attempted to run over an agent. The mayor of Minneapolis and activists call the shooting an unjust killing.
As an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
The mayor called for ICE to get out of Minneapolis. Despite the incident, the Secretary of Homeland Security says ICE will continue to work in Minnesota.
And that shooting in Minneapolis is sparking protests here. There are several protests planned in downtown LA later this morning.
Mario Ramirez standing by with all the details. Mario?
Yeah, that video being seen by millions of people so far, sparking protests, as you mentioned, from coast to coast. And we're just outside the federal building downtown along Los Angeles Street. And there's already a few people starting to gather here just outside. This is all sparked by the deadly shooting of Renee Good in Minneapolis. And this demonstration being led by a coalition of local organizations, organizers calling for the immediate arrest of the ICE agent involved, and they're demanding accountability from federal authorities. So take a look. This protest comes after Good, a 37-year-old mother of 3, was killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis Wednesday morning. Federal officials say the agent acted in self-defense, but the mayor of Minneapolis publicly disputed that claim. Activists here say what happened in Minnesota, not an isolated incident, and it could happen in any community. Now, the shooting and the video already sparking local protests. Take a look at this. In Oxnard, demonstrators gathered near City Hall Wednesday afternoon calling for justice and an end to ICE operations in local communities. And more demonstrations are planned today and through the weekend. I have Naji Ali. He's the director of Project Islamic Hope, one of the organizers here for this demonstration. What does accountability look like for you in the next 24 to 48 hours?
It's about justice for this family. Nicole Good, in our opinion, was executed along with Keith Porter Jr. locally. These are civilians murdered by these poorly trained ICE agents, and we are trying to hold President Trump accountable, as well as Kristi Noem, because these statements trying to justify the killings of both individuals and the ICE agents, what we call harsh treatment and murder of people, must be spoken out against and protested.
And I know you all have been requesting an urgent meeting with ICE leaders. Has there been any progress on that? Where does that stand?
I'm still waiting on a return phone call, but I have gotten calls from leaders across the nation, ranging from Reverend Al Sharpton to Ben Crump, who've encouraged us, stay in the streets, protest, be the resistance, show this White House that we're going to stand back against the murder of our citizens here in America.
Community activist Najee Ali, thank you for joining us. Those protesters expected to be out here throughout the day, and he expects this demonstration to pick up as it continues. For now, that's the latest here downtown. We'll check back in. We'll send it back to you for now in the studio.
We will check back in with you. Thank you so much, Mario. 2 LAPD officers injured when a pursuit for a stolen car ends in a crash. This happened in North Hollywood. The brief chase ended at Hamlin Street and Cleon Avenue around 10 o'clock last night. 4 suspects arrested. The officers injured appeared not to be especially serious, though. One was taken by ambulance to the hospital to be checked out.
1 year ago, the Palisades and Eaton fires were raging out of control.
Well, the damage and the fallout has motivated a former reality star to run for political office, which he announced live yesterday on GDLA+. Rachel Aragon is live in Pacific Palisades with reaction. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, very big announcement yesterday, and so much reaction to that 1-year mark, of course, from last January's wildfires. Take a look here. This is video of one of just many events that took place yesterday to mark that 1 year, of course, from the Eaton and Palisades fire. This video right here is the They Let Us Burn rally, which took place right here in the Palisades. Well, demonstrators and survivors demanded accountability. Well, Spencer Pratt, a former reality TV star and Pacific Palisades resident, announced his run for mayor of Los Angeles at that very rally. Pratt and his wife Heidi Montag lost their home in the Palisades fire, and since then they have been very vocal and critics of California Democratic leaders, including LA Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom. Well, here's Pratt speaking at yesterday's rally, announcing his run.
And I'm done waiting for someone to take real action. That's why I am running for mayor. And
Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco among some of the Republicans who have publicly endorsed Pratt for mayor of Los Angeles. Bianco, by the way, is currently running for governor of California. Our current governor, Gavin Newsom, announcing $107 million for affordable rental homes to aid LA area fire survivors. The state money, though, will fund the creation of 673 affordable rental homes that will be offered first to those affected or displaced by last January's wildfires. Well, back here live in the Palisades, of course, there's still a lot of destruction and so much work to be done. We did hear stories from people, of course, with glimmer of hope, but again, emphasizing the fact that while we reach that 1 year mark, it'll likely take many years to rebuild these communities. Reporting live this morning, I'm Rachel Aragon. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, long road ahead, that is for sure, Rachel. Thanks so much. You know, last night, developer and philanthropist Rick Caruso actually flipped a switch to turn on 3 commemorative beams of light to cut into the darkness above Palisades Village, marking 1 year since the fires. The 3 beams represented the Palisades, Malibu, and Eaton fires. The lights eventually merged into a single ray of light shooting into the night to bring the community together.
It was an emotional day. I was crying first off. It feels sad. It feels melancholy. It feels familiar. It feels like we're happy to be together, that we're all actually still here, even though, you know, we all have our lives. So that's the good thing.
Organizers say the event encouraged attendees to remember what has been lost, appreciate each other's strengths, and look optimistically toward the future.
Breaking news now out of Sylmar, where police are investigating a deadly shooting.
Yeah, let's go to Gigi right now, live at the scene with the latest. You just got there, Gigi. What do we know?
And that's right. We're on Rex and DeGarmo here in Sylmar, and this appears to be a family tragedy. Police investigating this as an attempted murder-suicide. Let me take you back to what happened this morning. A 911 call from a desperate child reporting their father had a gun and that they could hear their mother screaming in distress. That was followed by a report of hearing the father shoot off 3 rounds from what's believed to be a rifle. When police arrived, the man, believed to be 50 years old, was dead. The wife in grave condition, not conscious. She's been rushed to the hospital, but grave condition, unfortunately, means to paramedics and to hospital staff death imminent. But of course, there's a chance that she can be saved, and doctors are trying to do that right now. When police arrived, they found 2 children believed to be the couple's children. And again, they are investigating this as an attempted murder-suicide. Now, homicide detectives are en route. That is the original call. That is what they believe this is, but their investigation hasn't officially started yet. Reporting live in Sylmar, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Well, that is such a terrible story there, Gigi. All right, thank you. We'll check in with you coming up later this morning. Happening today, Governor Gavin Newsom will deliver his State of the State address. The address will take place during a joint session of the California legislature at the California State Capitol. Newsom expected to outline his budget priorities for the year ahead and what his administration is doing to counter President Trump's agenda. It will be the last address of Newsom's term as governor. The speech will be live streamed on the governor's official social media channels. Steve Hilton, Republican candidate for governor of California, will deliver the response to Newsom's speech. 9:10 still to come. We've got entertainment headlines with Amanda, including the season 14 premiere of The Masked Singer.
Who is behind the googly eyes mask? He is a familiar face for the Fox family. But first, a check of traffic.
And Good Day LA Traffic is brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group Accident and Injury. The 210 eastbound at Milliken Avenue, actually both sides, east and west sides, look pretty good at this hour. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DT LA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casinos. Watching our wind right now, the wind situation, and this is one of our computer models, our future wind gusts. It's really going to kick up later this morning, the afternoon, and tonight. As we fast forward here, we're going to get up to 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Fraser Park. Some isolated areas up in the wind-prone areas could get up to 70 miles an hour. So this is a strong wind coming out of the north at first, and then eventually will shift out of the northeast. And in that position will, of course, warm us up and continue to dry us out. These winds are going to continue through tomorrow, in fact, even into as late as Saturday. And then the winds will start to back down. Still coming from that northeasterly direction, but it won't be quite as gusty. Temperatures will rise as a result beginning Sunday into next week. We've got an upper level low, or this trough of low pressure that is still nearby, high pressure behind it, and it's really the difference in pressure between these two systems driving those winds at first, and then as that low continues to move off, that's when the winds will start to relax. But in the meantime, we do have some high wind warnings that are in effect through Saturday afternoon. A lot of areas here shaded in this mustard color. Elsewhere, wind advisories for some hazardous driving conditions. We also have winter weather advisory, by the way, if you're traveling up through the Grapevine, maybe heading up to the Tehachapis, windy conditions, along with a chance for some snow flurries, and then freeze watches for some of our valley locations. Those are the wind-sheltered areas where temperatures can get down to sub-freezing, especially tonight and tomorrow morning. So we're expecting temperatures to get as low as the 20s, the upper 20s. So keep that in mind, okay? 61 degrees, though, in the meantime today for downtown LA, staying below average. Riverside will get to maybe 60, 61 degrees later this afternoon, so staying below the average. I'll show you the extended outlook in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you, Maria. Ladies, it's Thursday. It's Maria's favorite day.
Yes, that's right. I think we all like a Thursday.
We all like a Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Entertainment is sponsored by Yamaba Resort and Casino. So last night, Season 14 of The Masked Singer premiered, and Googly Eyes was the first to take it off.
World Series winner and one of baseball's all-time legends.
Oh my God.
David Big Papi Ortiz.
What a costume.
What a costume. What a reveal.
Yeah.
Googly Eyes, as you just saw and heard, is beloved MLB legend, Red Sox icon, and Fox Sports analyst David Ortiz, a.k.a. Big Papi. The Masked Singer airs every Wednesday right here on Fox. I'm excited for next week because I want to see who the croissants are. The croissants costume is pretty cool. You have to.
All of them are so elaborate.
The costumes on that show, just nothing compares. They are next level, and they have to also be functional.
And imagine performing in them.
That's what I'm saying. Like that alone
is like a skill.
That alone is a skill. So, I mean, well done on all of those aspects alone, just the choreography and the costumes. And speaking of costumes, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is now streaming on Netflix. Incredible costumes. And now there's a local exhibit in Hollywood where you can see the magic of the behind the scenes of the award-winning film, because it just won the Critics' Choice Award for those costumes, and Jacob Elordi. Head inside Frankenstein's laboratory. You think your girls would like this. See the lavish costumes and hear the hauntingly good music inside this immersive showcase. I went this week for preview night. It was really, really cool. The film has been on a roll. It was actually shortlisted in 6 Oscar Crafts categories, every single one for which it was eligible. It's open now until January 11th, but hurry up. It's selling out. Even though it is free, you still have to reserve your time slot. So don't miss out on that. It's located at NYA Studios. You can go west, NYA Studios West. It's 1520 Wilcox Avenue. It is free, but you can RSVP via Eventbrite. So go to eventbrite.com, just search Frankenstein, and you will see the immersive showcase pop up right there. Ladies, let me see your phones. Yep, you are both modern divas. No flip phone there. However, you did have a flip phone at one point in your life.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, how much would you pay for a flip phone now? What if it was branded, Sandra, by FIFA?
All right, let me see it.
Okay,
Let me
Motorola is bringing the FIFA World Cup directly into the hands of fans, players, and creators. Starting in February, FIFA fans can get their hands on the cosmetically customized FIFA World Cup Edition Razor. The phone looks different, but it uses identical hardware as the regular Razor. However,
it looks like an iPhone, though.
There are some new features to it. You're good. You can brag about these new features. Buyers are going to get exclusive wallpapers, a World Cup ringtone, and a FIFA watermark to add onto their photos.
World Cup ringtone?
Yeah, you can get the phone for yourself from Verizon or directly from Motorola for $700
only.
But if you can't afford that, we've got this one right here. Wait, can you make the phone ring?
That's the flip phone.
Gotta answer it. I just heard you guys make it ring. Excuse me, I gotta take this.
Yeah.
Hello? And then you remember when someone would make you mad? Oh, yeah? Well, we'll see about that.
I have to tell you, it feels good to slam that.
Do it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's therapeutic. You need that.
God, I miss that.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
slam.
Sandra,
Here.
it's very
my turn. Yes, the rage of it all, right?
Yeah, Sandra snapped.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, that was
like
fun.
the flip phone.
I did too. I missed
it's just hard to
$700. Miss it.
No.
Here.
All right, coming up, do you treat your pets like family? She's calling her pet right now.
Oh, yeah. She's calling Jan right now.
Why more dog owners are turning to red light therapy to bring relief and joy into their lives.
I would do it.
Ooh, looking nice here. Looking up in the Inland Empire, Ontario International Airport. This view sponsored by Yeah, Ontario International. We've got some nice weather here. A little bit of the wind will be coming in and getting a little gusty at times, especially this afternoon, evening, in through Saturday. If you're traveling to Denver from Ontario International, 38 degrees expected there this afternoon. Houston, 78, a little warmer. Atlanta, 70. We've got some showers and snow showers up towards the upper Midwest and Chicago Midway. New York, JFK, 50 degrees with some sunshine later this afternoon. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. It is not the fountain of youth, but pet owners claim it comes out for some real benefits.
The latest wellness trend for dogs is giving them red light therapy. Take a look at these photos from ultra red light therapy in Newport Beach, where low-level pulsed LED light is being used on pups to help with things like pain, arthritis, joint issues, skin conditions, and post-surgery recovery. Paris Hilton reportedly said that exposing her dog helped him live past 20. Veterinary experts are weighing in and say while it's not a guarantee for a longer life, red light therapy can reduce inflammation and aid in healing when used properly. Not all red light devices are made for pets, and experts say to consult your veterinarian before trying it out. Amanda, would you do this?
Oh yeah, I have done it before, and I love red light. I need to do it more. I need that just reminds me that I need to do it more. But I really felt a difference. Headaches, inflammation.
No, how about for Jan, your dog?
Oh, for Jan? Oh yes, not about me, right? But I can only speak to it working for me. I would use it for Jan. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Especially as they get older, it's harder for them.
You have the machine at home? Or the plug-in, or what?
No,
so you have to go somewhere.
Yeah, I like to go somewhere, have a professional put the light on me. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm doing it wrong.
How long is the session?
I think you can get one for like half an hour.
And you just sit there?
Do you ever go into a sauna, like one of those red light infrared saunas?
It's been a while.
They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just sit there.
You just sit there.
Okay.
Yeah. Detox.
All right, coming up, LA Art Show back, and Coco is there.
Good morning. That's right. The LA Art Show will officially kick off today. Check out this amazing artwork here. We're going to show you more from a gallerist coming up all the way from Switzerland. How cool.
9:30 on this Thursday. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Enda. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines. A deadly shooting involving ICE agents is sparking outrage nationwide. We will have a live report from Minneapolis, plus how LA locals are reacting to it as well.
Just days after deposing the leader of Venezuela, actually right now we're going to go to hear the governor of Minneapolis speak.
I understand a fund has been set up to support Renee's 6-year-old child and wife. Other things being done. I would encourage Minnesotans and folks across the country in this moment. You're seeing neighborliness and kindness rise to the occasion. Is go and find out what they're doing there and give some help if you can. I'd also say last night we saw Minnesotans meet the moment once again. Thousands of Minnesotans demonstrated last night peacefully. They shared a message about the reckless ICE mobilization is not keeping us safe and led to the tragedy that the world witnessed once again. To Minnesota, I say thank you. There's strength in numbers, there's power in peace, and what we saw was a beautiful vigil to a life that we're starting to learn more about. And I will let those that want to push out false narratives, to slander or defame Renee Good, Minnesotans will tell her life story. Minnesotans will be there to defend her honor and see this as a human being, not a moment in time or the callous casualness that I've watched some people on TV gloss over what they saw. We've also spent a lot of time talking last 24 hours about accountability. That means no function of government operates with impunity. It means when someone's in a position of authority and they commit any act that impacts our people, there has to be another place to turn to get justice. Checks and balances. Basic idea, the center of the formation of our country. It's the only measure that protects us from the abuse of government or federal overreach or tyrannical government. Yesterday, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA, spent the day yesterday attempting to get that accountability to participate in the investigation. And I just want to make this as clear as possible to everyone. Minnesota must be part of this investigation. These are nonpartisan career professionals that have spent years building the trust of the community. There's a BCA Force Investigations Unit that was created by the legislature, by the people of Minnesota, to provide an independent, consistent, and trusted mechanism for investigating the use of force incidents involving law enforcement officers. Minnesota has seen our share of these. And what you've seen is, and I have witnessed it during my time, that these professionals have risen to the moment. They are trusted by people. People who are not by inclination trusting of law enforcement or government have come to see the professionals at the BCA as true arbitrators that can get them justice. The unit is the result of years of scrutiny, public engagement, and bipartisan legislative action. Minnesotans have made it clear time and again they expect transparency through this process where a police officer uses deadly force. The BCA Commissioner, Superintendent Evans, have earned that trust by delivering on that expectation. I think it's clear to everyone as they saw this that it feels now that Minnesota has been taken out of the investigation. It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome. And I say that only because people in positions of power have already passed judgment, from the president to the vice president to Kristi Noem, have stood and told you things that are verifiably false, verifiably inaccurate. They have determined the character of a 37-year-old mom that they didn't even don't know. They've determined that the actions are done. I don't know. I've not used inflammatory terms of what happened. I've asked us to find the answers. The only way we find the answers is a thorough investigation by nonpartisan professionals. We've delivered that. We've been able to do it. We've earned the trust. And when I say that, the trust of BCA and I tell Minnesotans the trust of law enforcement here. Everyone knows, globally, certainly here, that George Floyd, who was murdered a few blocks from this site, tore at the soul of who we were. But we healed. We built back trust. Chief Brian O'Hara came in and took one of the most difficult jobs in America of building back trust in the police force in Minneapolis after Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd. And he's earned that. And he's level. And he's fair. And he's asking for that. And so, Minnesotans, I will continue to press that we be part of the investigation, that we do the investigation, so that Minnesotans can trust what the outcome is. I don't have a predetermined notion. Yes, I saw the video. Yes, I saw that. But a thorough investigation will see what happened before that. It will take all factors in, and it will come up with a fair and just conclusion. And we will accept that. Very, very difficult for Minnesotans to think in any way this is going to be fair when Kristi Noem was judge, jury, and basically executioner yesterday. That's very, very difficult to think that they were going to be fair. With that being said, Minnesotans, we've risen to the occasion so far, but it's going to get challenging. It's going to be challenging because I feel your anger. The human desire to lash out in this moment is very real. I can tell you that that is the wish of many people, that they fulfill the wish they want to see us turn on one another, turn towards violence rather than peaceful reconciliation, rather than peaceful civil disobedience. And we have to do our best to not play into that. I say this too when I saw yesterday some of the anger. Whether it's Minneapolis Police, Minnesota State Patrol, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota National Guard, they are there to protect and serve, as it said. They are there to protect Minnesotans. Throwing your anger at them only inflames this situation. And I know some of you were up at the Whipple building this morning, and to the press who are here, I saw some of this myself. Thank you. Continue to have access to every single space. Continue to cover this story. Continue to show the world what's out there. I will say it where our president won't. The press are the defenders of our democracy. You need to be there. Hours is I saw an individual show up there with the intent to antagonize folks who were peacefully protesting with a bullhorn to scream at them. And again, the desire to move on that individual is exactly what they want, because our respect for the First Amendment means we will expect and respect all opinions. If this individual is there expressing support for ICE, that's their constitutional right to do so, and they need to be protected. Don't allow that to be a catalyst to create violence. We believe in states' rights. We believe the federal government needs to stay out of this. We believe that the situation has gotten worse and less safe because of their presence. And I will just say there were two incidents yesterday I saw after this that just tore at my soul. I saw an individual at the scene identify themselves as medical personnel, a physician, and asked to provide aid, and an ICE agent said, "I do not care." That lack of humanity was chilling to me. And after this incident happened, and after the tensions rose, ICE agents entered a Minnesota school, causing disruptions at that school. I can't say this strongly enough as governor, as a parent, as a teacher. To our elected representatives, Democrats and Republicans, I beg you, I implore you to tell them to stay out of our schools. This tragedy be magnified 100-fold of serving with John Lewis. And John talked about good trouble. I'm not telling you not to find good trouble, but I asked John many times, I said, John, I don't know if I'd have your self-restraint. Didn't you want to lash out? He said, yes, daily. But he said, I wanted to win this. I wanted to do what right, and I wanted justice to prevail. And to do that, I knew the only way was to not lash out, to not give in to that. So to each and every one of you, we're not going to win this through violence. We're going to win it through justice. We're going to win it through compassion. We're going to win it through Minnesota Nice. And we're going to win it by holding every one of these people accountable as they should for what we've seen on the streets of Minneapolis. With that, I'm going to turn to Commissioner Jacobson to give you a situation update.
All right, there you've been listening to the governor of Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz, speak and react to the incident that occurred yesterday where a woman was killed by an ICE agent during an incident. And this is certainly sparking protests, not just there in Minneapolis, but we're seeing that really all over the country.
Let's bring in Connor Hansen, who's live at the scene right there, to tell us about some of the protests that we're seeing, Connor, and what the governor has said this morning. It's 33 degrees out there, just to give you context, and you can see the crowds on the streets very passionate over this issue.
That's right. Cold weather, but not very cold to people who live here in Minnesota. It's usually way colder this time of year, so these crowds of hundreds of people aren't quite fazed by it. It seems hundreds of them last night, maybe even thousands, and there's still big crowds today. You can see behind me, this is actually the block where that shooting happened. They have pretty much this entire street barricaded, and they have that on the other side too. About halfway down, there's a memorial to Renee Good, the 37-year-old woman from Minneapolis who was shot and killed yesterday. You heard Governor Walz talking about one of the most recent developments here. Initially, we heard yesterday that this would be a joint investigation into this shooting. The FBI, the U.S. Attorney, and Minnesota state investigators, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. We just learned in the past couple of hours that the BCA superintendent says the FBI told them they're no longer involved, and the FBI is going to handle this on their own. The state superintendent here saying they have no access to the evidence, the interviews, anything from this scene here, not enough to conduct their own independent investigation. Governor Walz was slamming that move today, saying his people have faith in the BCA and they should be involved, and the only fair way to do this is to have some state input. He's worried about how the federal authorities could handle this. Of course, very differing opinions from people in the Trump administration, even going as far as to call this an act of domestic terrorism, saying the shooting was a result of self-defense. The state and local officials here, including the mayor, the governor, have come out and said, you know, videos they've watched of what unfolded here tell a much different story, and at the very least, they want to see a thorough investigation into what happened before and after. So still a tense situation here between those two entities, and of course, with the people who have been gathered here since yesterday.
Yeah, you heard Governor Walz there ask for a kind of sense of calm and peaceful protest there. But on the flip side, you heard from Mayor Jacob Frey with choice words for ICE agents and the federal government. So it seems to be a lot of tensions running high there, of course, obviously over what happened.
I have an idea.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we've all seen the videos of what happened immediately after the shooting. There were already protesters here. That's what led to this. But immediately after, we saw people throwing objects like snowballs at the agents. Some tear gas and spray were used on those protesters. So very tense situation for a while. I can tell you right now, we haven't really seen any police presence at all at this scene. It seems like they may have backed off from the area as to not, create any type of situation. There are protests in other parts of the cities. We've seen helicopters in the air, people gathered at the federal building not far from here. So people are upset, and this is a city with a history of protests in the past. The governor, again, urging peace and calm during this. The city of Minneapolis has canceled school and other activities the rest of the week, saying just out of an abundance of caution and hoping things don't escalate.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping a close eye on things there. Connor, thank you for being there, and stay safe. And stay warm as much as you can. The conditions there obviously not comfortable. And although that happened in Minneapolis, we mentioned that there are protests that are happening around the country, including here in Los Angeles. In fact, local activists are calling for the arrest of the ICE officer who shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis.
Mario Ramirez live outside the federal building in downtown LA with more on that. Mario.
That's right, and we know the ICE agent has not been named. It's not clear if he'll face any sort of disciplinary action while this is being investigated, but we know of at least 2 demonstrations that are planned in downtown LA, one this morning, one later this evening, and as you mentioned, we're just outside the federal building downtown, and what we're seeing is a very small, so far, a very peaceful demonstration, about a dozen people who've gathered here calling for accountability from federal officials. Now, take a look, because millions of people have already seen this video that's been surfacing online shortly after this all took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and a lot of people have really been picking it apart. Witnesses say agents were on both sides of the vehicle, one even pulling on the driver's side door. Seconds later, 3 shots were fired into the vehicle, and federal officials claim that the driver used the vehicle as a weapon, saying that the agent fired because he feared for his life. And meanwhile, protests spreading far beyond Minnesota, and we saw one in Oxnard, demonstrators gathering near City Hall yesterday demanding the agent's immediate arrest, chanting anti-ICE slogans and holding signs calling for justice, while Minnesota state and federal officials are now investigating the shooting. So again, protests are planned to continue today, and coming up at the top of the hour, we'll give you another update as this demonstration here continues to grow. For now, that's the latest downtown. I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you. We'll check back in with you later. Let's go now to Stu up in Skyfox over a protest in Woodland Hills, but this is not regarding the ICE agent and what happened in Minneapolis. Stu, tell us what's going on.
Well, this is happening out here, like you said, in the Woodland Hills area, a large protest, and this one not about ICE. This is the Iranian regime change people that are out here in force. There's a large group, very peaceful, and they are down there protesting that they want Ayatollah Khomeini out of power, and they want their regime change. You can see there's actually even a Israel flag in amongst the Iranian flags down there, American flag as well. This protest definitely peaceful, but people getting out this morning, getting their voices heard. Again, this is happening at the Topanga Mall, and that's going to be right at the corner of Victory and Topanga Canyon. Large crowd out there, and actually, since we arrived here, actually saw some other vehicles pulling up with flags as well. So this might just be getting started, but right now, very peaceful at the corner of Topanga and Victory, right at the Topanga Mall. Again, another protest happening out here in the Woodland Hills area. I'm Stu up in Skybox, sending it back to you all in the studio.
All right, Stu, thank you. We'll keep an eye on things there as well in Woodland Hills. Appreciate that. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, 9:52. So if you're parenting a preschooler, you've probably dealt with meltdowns, bedtime battles, and of course the classic calling their name only to be ignored. Well, here's some practical advice from a parenting expert on how small changes can make a big difference.
Parenting expert and early childhood educator Danielle Lindner says raising young kids isn't about fitting into one parenting box. It's about flexibility.
I specialize in helping parents raise resilient, happy kids in a peaceful environment without being one type of parent. You're not a gentle parent or a really strong-willed parent. It has to be a blend of things. So you can be a kind parent without being a gentle parent.
One common frustration for parents, calling your child's name and getting no response. It turns out most of the time, that's not defiance. It's biology.
Kids are not that different from adults in that when we are hyper-focused on something, like a project, we're working on something on our phone or we're on our computer and someone's talking to us and we're really focused, a lot of times we don't really hear someone talking to us.
Instead of repeating yourself or yelling, she says getting closer helps kids shift their focus.
It's best to make eye contact with a child or anybody when you want to get their attention. Tap them on the shoulder and tell them what you need face-to-face.
Routine is another key piece, especially when it comes to meltdowns.
A lot of the meltdowns and tantrums happen because we forget that kids need that routine and predictability, and they really count on that because predictability makes them feel safe.
Bedtime battles are common, but a predictable routine can help kids feel calm and connected.
Make a schedule, and you can even do it with your kids. Say, all right, we're gonna always do bath time first, then pajamas, then brush teeth. Then you get to pick 2 books.
And if you have a child who questions everything or pushes back, that may actually be a strength.
It's really all about control. We all don't want someone to tell us what to do. You have to kind of switch the narrative for yourself as a parent and say, no, they're just a highly intelligent kid who wants control.
Her advice, offer choices, but keep boundaries.
Kids need boundaries. It makes them feel safer. Giving them choices that give them a little bit of control kind of helps with that strong-willed tug-of-war.
For parents navigating tantrums, she's created a short online course designed to fit into busy lives.
I've just launched a 6-module course that's really short. It takes you literally 10 minutes per module to get through. It tells you what is a meltdown, how to stop tantrums, how to help your kids manage their own big feelings and emotions, self-care for mom.
Check out that course online, Tantrum Tamers, and give her a follow on Instagram, Parenting Takes Practice, for more tips. I love the little tips you get along the way. Just be mindful of it. I have been practicing where I don't repeat myself over and over again from a different part of the room.
Yeah.
I've been physically walking over to my kids, making the eye contact, like grabbing their shoulders, being, you need to go and, you know, brush your teeth or whatever.
Right.
It's worked actually. So there's truth to that.
What I also do is make the kid come to me. Like, come here first before I say anything.
I should do that.
Yeah. So either way, it's just proximity, right? Being close and focus.
It's exactly like us, right? Like we're in the middle of something, we're laser focused. So hope that helps. And with that, we'll be right back.